So we should be live. We should be live right now. We should be live for everyone in this stream. The chat box is not going to be here in this stream because, unfortunately, there's just YouTube error and I can't get the chat box out. I unfortunately cannot get the chat box for anyone that is watching this live. So you guys, I'm just going to have to find a way to, probably going to have to watch the stream. Are we going to have to watch the stream on my phone? Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. I have to go and watch the stream on my phone and read the comment, read the live chat. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. We're here. I appreciate that, Eric. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to, I'm watching the stream on my phone right now to get the chat in. But, as we're going to wait till there's about 20 people in here or so, and then we're going to start with our first video. So, topics for this stream. We're going to be talking about a conspiracy theory that I saw in a Rachel Demita video that I think that is really interesting. We're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark recruiting free agents, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the likes of Serena Sundell getting cut, obviously why the Fever are stalling on announcing their team, and just players in general. We might be talking about Hailey Van Lith as well, and why Hailey Van Lith has been able to, like, honestly, and we might be talking about freaking Cooper Flagg. We might be talking about Cooper Flagg for Dallas Ball. Haven't heard the roster conspiracy. I think it's a really interesting one. I think it's a really, really interesting one. And it's I'll say roster, it's a theory. Conspiracy sounds better. I'll say this. The word conspiracy sounds better. It's just a theory. It's just a theory. Conspiracy sounds better, and it reads like a better title. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about that right now to start off. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the Indiana Fever roster, and we're going to be talking about a theory proposed by Rachel Demita, which actually could make a lot of sense. It could genuinely make a lot of sense for the Fever because we've seen like a lot of these players here, a lot of the Fever players, and it is a very interesting one to see why they're waiting so long. Every single person knows. She's as good as said Michaela Timpson is on the roster. Like, Stephanie White has as good as told Michaela Timpson she is on the roster. However, they're not cutting Jaylen Brown yet. Why are they not cutting Jaylen Brown yet? There's no reason. There's no actual reason to cut Jaylen Brown. However, they've not done it yet. And Rachel Demita said a potential reason, which could be valid. It could genuinely be valid. So, what she said was that the reason why they haven't made final cuts is they're waiting to see what players on other teams get cut first. They're waiting to see players on other teams that could potentially be getting cut. So, if you guys seen, obviously, look, Colson's there to tell jokes, but maybe Michaela Timpson, they feel, is giving them more than Bree Turner is. And if Michaela Timpson's giving them more than Bree Turner, you could see potentially Bree Turner going and getting cut. And them just saying, you know what, Bree Turner, it was meant to have been Dantas. Maybe Dantas was meant to have been the player that was backing up, is going to be the backup center. And they're saying, you know what, we're cool with not having Bree Turner because we have Michaela Timpson. And what that allows you to do is, it allows you to bring in somebody, and as good as Jaylen Brown has been with her athleticism, with her defense, they're not keeping Jaylen Brown. Sydney Colson is there for vibes. She's there for vibes. That's literally why Sydney Colson's in there. Like, Sydney Colson is not there to play basketball. She's there for vibes. However, there are certain rosters in the WNBA, if you're looking at it, and this is a team, the one thing that is very clear from this team is that they need a backup point guard. That Colson's not good enough. And that is a huge, huge thing. And there are teams getting rid of point guards. Like, I don't think the right thing to do for the Fever right now is to pick up, for example, a Serena Sundell. Who, if they wanted Serena Sundell, they would have drafted Serena Sundell. They had two chances to draft Serena Sundell. If they wanted Serena Sundell, they could have drafted Serena Sundell. So I don't think that's going to happen. Cheyenne Sellers has just shown she's just not good enough. She's shown that she's not good enough. However, there are teams like the Valkyries. If you look at the Valkyries team, do they cut Julie Van Loo? Like, I don't think it's likely, but if you look at this team, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There are 18 players. Josite's not coming over. Let's bring that down to 17. So they have to cut 5 players from this team. Bibi and Kunane are going to be cut, or Kunan are going to be cut. They're going to be cut. The two of them are going to be cut. No questions about it. They then have to cut 3 more players from this lineup right here. From all these players, they've cut 3. Caitlin Chen, gone. Or maybe for jersey sales, maybe Caitlin Chen all of a sudden makes the team because they want to sell jerseys. Like, that is a thing that teams will do as a 12th player to sell jerseys and will keep Caitlin Chen. If they keep Caitlin Chen, who's going to lose the spot? If you're looking at the Valkyries team. Losing the spot if they keep Chen is not going to be Kate Martin. It might be Veronica Burton or Julie Van Loo. And Veronica Burton and Julie Van Loo are way better than Sydney Colson. So if they stall and suddenly the two of them are gone, and one of those are gone, the Valkyries get rid of them, and they stall and wait, and they're saying, you know what, we're getting rid of Jaylen Brown anyway, but we're not confirming our roster yet, because we might end up needing to cut like a Bree Turner to bring in one of these better point guards. Maybe Colson's just not working. Maybe I don't think that's gonna happen. Colson's guaranteed on the team. Maybe we can get like a true backup point guard that is like genuinely good, because if you look at the Valkyries team, they don't have very much size. Outside of Temi, Amaher, and like Temi's their only real center. He's their only real center outside of Linskins, and I don't think they can get rid of Linskins because they have literally no other center. They got no other center, so there's going to be good players gotten rid of from that team. I know some people will say Lucy Olsen, but I don't think Lucy Olsen's the right fit. The Sky have gotten rid of all their players. With the Lynx, I don't think they're going to take Grace Berger back. Let's be real. Deja Kelly is a player that I don't think Deja Kelly's a real point guard though. I don't think they're going to want another bucket getter off the bench. But I'm trying to just think of other teams. Like, could the Sun go and like make a blunder? Because we've already seen a real bad blunder be made by the by the Wings. But if you look at the Connecticut Sun, like what players they have, do they have any guards they might want to get rid of? Like Layla Lacan, so that's one guarantees in the team is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they're not going to get rid of Layla Lacan. I was like, maybe the Sun could go and mess up and get rid of Layla Lacan. For the Liberty might be willing to, if they just have too many players, trade the rights to a Marine Fateau. Something like that, who's a much better player if she's willing to come over. And it could be the reason why they're waiting. And they might wait till after Eurobasket, but there are teams in the WNBA that straight up just are going to be getting rid of hoopers. They're going to be getting rid of absolute hoopers. And the longer you stall picking your final roster, the more chance you have of getting one of said hoopers. Like, it's a big one. It is really a big one. And maybe they're waiting for that. And look, what is the most likely thing? That they're going to take Timpson, cut Brown, and go with those 11 players. Cut Brown, take Timpson, and go with the other 11. Is that the most likely scenario? Yes, it is. But it's been very clear that Sydney Colson is not good enough. Like, that's very, very clear. That Sydney Colson is not good enough to be a rotation player. And the only thing, again, that does, like, kind of bode well is that Sophie Cunningham can run the 1. But Sophie Cunningham might not be ready game 1. She might not be. I would assume she's going to be okay. We would have heard. Like, I think we would have heard something if it was an actual injury. Like, we've heard nothing. Like, we'd have heard if Sophie Cunningham's actually hurt. However, she's going to be there almost certainly to backup point guard. And that's the only reason why the only way that this situation has worked out is because Sophie Cunningham played one. Because if we were having to rely on Sydney Colson to play backup one, like I'm not joking when I say this, Erica Wheeler is twice the player Sydney Colson is as a player. And it just didn't make sense taking Colson if she was going to have to be in the rotation. But Caitlin Clark needs to learn to play off the ball. It's not Caitlin's fault when she has nobody else that can run anything when she's off the ball. Like, Sydney Colson can't throw a chest pass. The only player that can actually pass the ball on this team, not named Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, is Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah, their best passer, not named Caitlin Clark, is their center. But yeah, like if you look at the Fever's team, and that's again the problem is outside of Sophie, Aaliyah, and Caitlin, and we've yet to see with Timpson, Colson's just not good enough. Dewana Bonner is the offense stops here type player. Jaylen Brown, the offense stops here. Bree Turner just can't score layups. Lexi Hull is the offense stops here type player. Natasha Howard, the offense definitely stops there. And Kelsey Mitchell is an ISO god sometimes. And like, if Kelsey Mitchell starts playing ISO god this year, I will be genuinely, I'll be calling for Stephanie White to be fired, just like I call them to fire sides if we start seeing her go tween, step back long two, instead of moving off the ball. I'll be calling for Stephanie White's head if that happens. But yeah, it is an interesting theory, and it's a theory that I think there might be some weight to, because there'd be considering the fact we all know Stephanie White is as good as said what's going to be happening. So I don't know really like why they'd be stalling otherwise. And maybe again, I don't think they're going to do it unless somebody like a Julie Van Loo becomes available. If Julie Van Loo becomes available or Veronica Burton becomes available and there's an opportunity to get rid of Colson and get them, it would be negligence. Like, it would be, I would lose faith in the front office if a Julie Van Loo or a Veronica Burton became available and they kept Colson. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're not convinced this team is championship material ever or either. Like, we can't judge a team by preseason. We cannot judge a team by preseason at all. And I mean this. We cannot judge a team by preseason. Like, for me, it makes absolutely no... Like, there's no point talking about it, because did we not see what happened last night? Did we not see what happened? We watched the New York Liberty almost lose to the Toyota Antelopes. The Toyota Antelopes, I'm not joking, till the fourth quarter, this is a ball game. The Toyota Antelopes were within 2 in the first quarter. Within 2 in the first quarter. Or say in the second quarter. Within 2 in the first. And right before halftime, it was like a 2-point game. This is the New York Liberty. And by the way, Stewie played. Niara played. Sabrina played. Who were they missing? They're missing Leonie Fiebich, who is not with the team yet. Like, that is the only player they were missing. Maureen Johannes played. Maureen Johannes with 10 points on 8 shots, the usual. Like, she played pretty well. Kenny Burke was there. Rebecca Gardner was there. Like, Lainey Hamilton's probably going to get her contract suspended. And Sabrina Ionescu played 25 minutes because she was back in Oregon. And they still struggled against the Toyota Antelopes. The Toyota Antelopes, like, this is a team who could not dribble past the halfway line against the Wings. They could not dribble past the halfway line against the Dallas Wings. And the New York Liberty, the number 1 in everyone's power rankings except mine, are nearly lost to them. And this is why you can't put too much stock in preseason. The Atlanta Dream played that preseason. The Washington Mystics played them in preseason. The Washington Mystics played that game like it was game 5 of the finals. We saw it, the intensity. They were trying to, like, we saw how many of them go at Sophie Cunningham. Like, they genuinely, they did everything they could. They did everything they could to win that game. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, they were, like, trying to beat the Fever, and they didn't. The Fever playing at 25% speed until Sophie Cunningham got suplexed, and then they came back in the game, down 18. They, like, the Atlanta Dream, other than Brittany Griner playing, they played hard. They showed 8 different coverages of Caitlin Clark. They threw 4 different players on her, and Caitlin Clark was, like, playing at 60% speed. So, like, it makes a difference. Like, preseason doesn't make any difference, especially the Fever, who didn't look great in preseason, even though they're 3-0. But you still can't say they don't look like a championship team based on preseason, because they deliberately look like the worst team in the WNBA. The Liberty lost to the Sun. The Liberty lost to the literal Sun. The Connecticut Sun they lost to. And they lost to the Toyota Antelopes. No, sorry, not lost to. Jesus. They struggled against the Toyota Antelopes. But, like, Jonquel Jones was just chilling. She was chilling. She was like, I can run faster than Jonquel Jones ran last night. She was just chilling. She did not care. She didn't care. Sabrina was there trying to get hers because she was back in Oregon. The whole team was trying to get Sabrina hers. Tash Cloud, I didn't even, like, I genuinely, I'm not joking, I watched the game. Like, I watched the game back on double speed because I just didn't want to sit through it. I watched the playback on double speed, and I literally was like, who is that playing? Who's that? Who's that? And I was like, oh my God, that's supposed to be Tash Cloud. She is just gone. She just went through the motions yesterday. She went through the motions. Izzy Harrison barely played. Stewie could have scored every time she touched the ball. She chose not to. And, like, a lot of people are like, oh, they struggled. Like, yeah, but they treated it like it's preseason. The Dallas Wings full court trapped the Toyota Antelopes and then started doing belt to ass, like, doing the, like, thing. Doing, like, the belt to ass motions when they beat down on the Toyota Antelopes. The Liberty just chilled. They were just chilling. They were absolutely chilling. Like, they held back. And if you look at the teams that held back in preseason, the Minnesota Lynx did not hold back in the second game against the Sky. They held back in the first game against the Sky. They did not hold back in game 2. This was like a regular season game. This was a de facto regular season game. The Washington, or the Atlanta Dream blitzed the Mystics early and then held back. The Fever held back both games. The Sun did not hold back at all. They're just not very good. The Storm, whoever was the Storm played, that I don't even remember that game. It was the Sun, I think. The Storm actually kind of killed the Sun. And you had, like, the Valkyries who went for all their games, whereas the Mercury held back. The Valkyries went for it because they were trying hard. The Sparks were chilling. Like, preseason does not matter in any way. Like, in the last 2 WNBA preseason games the Liberty have played that were against WNBA teams, was the Liberty lost to the Chicago Sky by 40, and not only that, they then lost to the Connecticut Sun. The Sun. The Connecticut Sun. So, yeah, I would be, like, people in the comment section like, Stewie looked great. Stewie could have scored every time she touched the ball. Stewie could have scored every time she touched the ball. If Jonquel wanted it, she could have scored every time she touched the ball. Sabrina killed it, to be expected. Just like Caitlin Clark back in Iowa, she put on a show. She put on a show back in Oregon. And, like, who cares? Who cares? Like, the Liberty look absolutely shocking. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And we will see. We will see on Saturday. Because Saturday is big. Saturday's big. I don't care what anyone says. Like, we are going to be looking at the games on Saturday. We're going to be looking at the Aces playing against the Liberty and the Sky playing against the Fever. That is where we see. The Chicago Sky have gone out hard in every preseason game. Other than the Brazil game. They just chilled. They just chilled against Brazil. but they went hard against the Lynx both games. The Aces killed the Dallas Wings and chilled against the Mercury. Like, it is... We're now looking on Saturday at 2 big games. And we will see early. We will see what the Dream are. I think the Dream are going to blitz them. We'll see what the Dallas Wings are about. I think the Dallas Wings get absolutely pummeled by the Minnesota Lynx. The Valkyries and Sparks is going to be a fun game. But just because the Liberty have looked horrendously awful in preseason does not mean they're not either the best or second best team in the WNBA. And I think if you're not going to bet on them to be one of the top 2 seeds, especially with the addition of a Maureen Johannes, and at worst, a lateral move. At worst, between Benijah Laney Hamilton and Tash Cloud is a lateral move. And they clearly got a little bit better, and Niara's improved. And to be fair, I think the Lynx got quite a bit better, which is why I have them at number 1. But still, like, a really, really, really good team has just been not arsed in preseason. Let's be honest. They weren't really trying. So, lads, we've only got 52 likes and we got 500 people in here. We can get to 100. Surely we can get to 100. We can get to 100. But one thing I forgot to cover in my video earlier today. So I forgot to cover this right here. And what I didn't cover was one thing about Caitlin Clark's... honestly, one thing about Caitlin Clark's just year. And her off-season and what she did for the Fever. Because obviously, I talked about a lot of the positives for Caitlin. I talked about her being a gym rat and all this stuff. However, it turned out that the Indiana Fever went out of their way to make sure Caitlin Clark was involved in everything. To make sure Caitlin Clark was involved in every single thing. And I don't know if it paid off or not, because they ended up with Duana Bonner. That's something. But look at this. Krauskopf said Clark helped the front office recruit free agents in the winter by reaching out with a text or call and provide input on players Indiana was interested in. Being based in Indianapolis this offseason gave Clark a front row seat at the franchise growth, and Cox and Krauskopf said Clark constantly asked questions about how the organization operates and what goes into running it. I really never like to compare at all because each player is their own player and Diane Taurasi is a GOAT. Said Cox, who previously a long-time executive at the Phoenix Mercury. The level of investment that Taurasi had in the Mercury, Clark's interest in the Fever reminds me of that. Which is crazy. And to be fair, I think there was the amount of recruiting that was going on in the WNBA this season is... I don't think any team probably could have imagined that. Like, the amount of... Let's be real. Can you call it tampering? The amount of tampering that has been done. Like, we heard Aaliyah Boston talking about how she talked to Duana Bonner. Like, you better believe Duana Bonner and Caitlin Clark were heavily involved with all their free agents. That's probably why they were able to get free agents that a lot of people didn't think they were going to get. Because apparently Duana Bonner was not going to come to Indiana for obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. Do we remember that? Do we remember all that crap? Do we remember the obvious reasons crap for why Duana Bonner wasn't going to join the Indiana Fever? Like, that was one of the craziest tweets ever. Like, do we not remember the tweet? It was like the 30th of February or January, and it was like, all of a sudden, I told y'all the Fever weren't going to get any free agents, and then like the next day they get Natasha Howard. The next day they trade for Sophie. The night they signed Natasha Howard, the Friday night they trade for Sophie Cunningham. Then the Saturday, I think they cut Grace Berger on the Saturday to free up cap space, and the next day, or was the Sunday? The Sunday they signed Grace Berger and they Or they cut Grace Berger and they signed Bonner on the same day. And the following day, they cut Saxton. And like all of these things, we can never forget. We can never forget the nobody wants to join the Fever talk. Like, the only reason any player shouldn't want to join the Fever is for the same reason why you shouldn't want to join the like Lakers, because of Twitter crap. If you are terminally online, go to a poverty franchise. Go to a poverty franchise and make the max. If you're terminally online, go to a team with no fans. Like that's for NBA players, for WNBA players. If you are terminally online, go to a team that sucks. Go to a team genuinely that sucks. But it's otherwise, Fever's a perfect place. Good facilities, good teammates. You got a point guard that will give you the ball. You've got a good coach. You're going to have more eyes on your game than ever before. You're going to be treated like a celebrity in Indiana. Like, it's probably the only team in the WNBA where the 11th player is treated as a celebrity in their city. Because Indiana are doing a really good job of, like, making sure that the WNBA and the NBA team are treated, I'm not going to say equally, but not far off equally. Not far off equally. Like, they have done a really good job of that. And I think they're going to continue to do a really big job at that. Really good job at that. And it's just been a crazy, it's a crazy thing. It's like, there's no other team in the WNBA where, let's just say, Michaela Timpson, who will probably not be in the rotation, where Michaela Timpson will be treated like a celebrity when she walks out on the street. Let's be real, like Sophie Cunningham could have probably walked around Phoenix last year. Don't think she can walk around Indiana right now. Aaliyah Boston probably, actually no, South Carolina fans are crazy. I'm not going to use Aaliyah Boston. But like, it is one of those teams where it's like, if you join them, you are 100 times more well known. Like Bree Turner, like, could have walked around Chicago and people either didn't know who she was or probably didn't like her. Like, I think genuinely, people are, people in the Sky fans did not like her at all. So with her, it's she's definitely going to be well known, and there's a lot of positive reasons to join the Fever, and it's good. If you're an organization, you want to see your players being somewhat involved in this, especially your key players, especially your Caitlin and Leah Boston, because if people don't realize is like their decisions over the next 2 years are going to be extremely, extremely important, because they've only got this is Aaliyah's second last year on her rookie deal. When Caitlin and Aaliyah both move into max contract territory, it becomes a lot harder to build around them. Yes, obviously the two of them are going to be even better, but it becomes a lot harder to build around them. Like when Stewie was still on her rookie deal, the Seattle Storm had Alicia Clark, Sammy Whitcomb. Like, what was the 2018 when Stewie, I don't know, I think she was her first MVP year. 2018. And this is what they were able to do because Stewie and Jewel Lloyd were still on their rookie deals. Like, they were 26-8 after not being good in 2016 or 2015, and they weren't even great in 2017. Like, they literally had the 5th pick from the previous year. So when you have Jordan Cannon as a rookie, when you have Stewie on a rookie deal, when you have Jewel Lloyd on a rookie deal, you are able to put together a team where outside of your rookie players, you have Sammy Whitcomb, who they brought over. I don't think she would have done much money, but you were able to get Natasha Howard, Alicia Clark. Again, Alicia Clark 7 years ago was even better than now, and keep Sue Bird in the team. Like, you were able to bring together a team that was quality. Was an absolutely quality team. So it's extremely important for the Fever to work things out now. And just for keeping Aaliyah and Caitlin happy, and even if these signings don't work out, keeping them involved and getting players that they like playing with is going to keep them happy. So even if it doesn't work out, they're not going to be blaming the front office and looking to go. But yeah, that is pretty much it for that topic. Yeah, so speaking of the Seattle Storm. Speaking of the Seattle Storm, lads. The Seattle Storm are the most overrated team in the WNBA right now. Like, the Seattle Storm are probably going to finish below the sky. They genuinely might not make the playoffs. I don't understand why people are so hyped on this team. I talked about it yesterday. Why are people so hyped on this team? They only have 10 players. So you look at this team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And Katie Lou's gone. So they only have 10 players on the team. One of them is 19. And one of them has Crohn's disease. They have 10 players, including one player who has Crohn's disease. Seattle might grab Deja Kelly. They don't have the salary. They don't have the salary. They literally don't, they don't have the salary to do it. They can't bring in an 11th player. They can't bring in a 12th player, and they can't get rid of Katie Lou's salary. Because Katie Lou signed for over the minimum. She signed for over the minimum and was on guaranteed money, and she got injured at training camp. Because she got injured at training camp, it means that they literally can't they can't cut her or get rid of her salary. Like, if one player gets injured, they can't even go 5-on-5 against each other. And it's not like a bunch of teams. It's not like last year, the Mercury, obviously they had an injury crisis where 5-6 players were injured. This team is 10 without any injuries. Like, let's be honest. Skylar Diggins is what, 35? Skylar Diggins is 35. Or should be 35. And so will Nneka Nwumeke. They're going to have to play close to 40 a game. They're relying on Erica Wheeler probably playing 15 to 20 a game. Like, that is... The hard cap is mental. The hard cap is mental. And someone in my comment section just said it. Katie Lou Samuelson is currently screwing over 2 teams in the WNBA and she's not even playing. Yep. I feel bad for her. Seems like a lovely person. But literally, she is screwing over 2 teams. Alicia Clark is 38. You have 3 players 35 and over in your starting lineup. Or it will be 35 this season. You will have 3 players 35 or older in your starting lineup. And the other starters, yes, Ezzy McBagor is exceptional. Gabby, who do people think Gabby Williams is? I'm sorry, I like Gabby Williams. I think she's good. Who do people think she is? Genuinely, who do they think she is? Like, she is not some all-star, superstar level player. She's a really good player. And I thought, initially, when I thought giving a Fever getting her instead of with the money they used for Dwana Bonner would have been a good shout, but they obviously caught her. And she's good. But, like, what level is Gabby Williams as far as starting small forwards or starting shooting guards in the WNBA? Where is she as far as starting shooting guards are concerned? Where would she rank? Like, 6? Like, they've got what? Like, Ezzy McBagor is probably their best player. Lexi Brown's good, but again, like, she's going to miss time because she's got Crohn's. Like, it's not the, again, it's nothing wrong with her. You just can't. Like, she literally missed the last 2.5 months of last season. Like, because of Crohn's. Like, she could genuinely, on any given day, not saying not on any given day, on any time during the year, she could just be done. She could be done. Like, it's incredibly impressive the success she has had in like in her basketball career. But like, she had to miss so much time for it. And she's not only that, like, she's going to be needed to play 25 minutes. Dominique Malonga is not ready to be a big contributor. Like, she's not ready to be a big contributor yet. She's really good. She's not ready. Leah Rue is fine, but like, to act like Leah Rue was not a like, it's not like Leah Rue is not terrible. Like, she's not terrible, but like, she was a backup guard. She was a backup center, third string center for the worst team in the WNBA last year. She was a third string center for the worst team in the W. And she's going to have to give you huge minutes. And not only that, got cooked by Malonga overseas. Was not great at Galatasaray. Ezi Magbor, yes, exceptional. Zaya Cook is fine. But like, Zaya Cook is like just very much holding on to her spot in the league by a thread. Nneka Nwumeke and Skylar Diggins, they have 3 starters 35 and older. And Nneka and Skylar Diggins are going to be expected at 35 years old to be. They're going to have to average close to 40 combined. Because you don't have Jewel Lloyd anymore. Gabby Williams might average a little bit more. But like, Nneka is going to have to average 17, 18. Skylar Diggins is going to have to average 17, 18. Like, you're going to see here them two needing to add 3-4 points to their averages for this team to be competitive. So I think it's just a mad one. I don't understand why teams are ranking this team high. Like, this team is one, if one of their old players getting injured, away from being one of the worst teams in the WNBA. I'm not joking when I say that. They're an Ezi Magbor injury away from being the literal, like, I don't think, if the Ezi Magbor gets hurt, I don't know other than the tanking teams who's worse than them. Like, for me, the Sky are better than this team. By far. Like, I don't even think it's close. The Sky are way better. The Fever are so much better than this team. The Aces are so much better. The Dream are so much better than this team. They have no depth. And not only that, their starting five is not that good. Like, Jordan Horston, it's unfortunate that the team had 3 ACL tears. It is very unfortunate the team had 3 ACL tears before the season started. It is. Like, but you don't have to just put them because Nneka Nwumeke is there. Like, just because Nneka Nwumeke said, just because she said, watch, don't criticize, doesn't mean that we have to rate this team highly. You don't have to criticize any of these players to say other teams are better. You can criticize these players. You can criticize some of their team building, criticize some of their decision making as a roster. You can criticize why the fuck they gave Alicia Clark a max contract at 38 years old. You don't need Alicia Clark. Like, you could have. There are other players you could have gotten for a lot cheaper. But yeah, like, until they can start signing hardships, like, this team's going to struggle. And none of those teams that were like a Mercury last year, like a Storm, I say not like a Storm, like a Sparks, like a Wings, any of the teams that were perpetually signing hardship contracts sucked. They sucked last year. They were way worse than they should have been. Like, it's not a smart thing to do to have your roster set into a situation where you're perpetually signing hardships. Like, that's really not a good position to be in, if we're being honest. It's not a good position. And I'm going to talk about something, and I'm probably going to lose 15 subscribers for this. I'm going to talk about this topic and give my opinion, and I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers about this because there is a lot of people that don't like to talk basketball and just want to shit on But yeah, I'm probably going to lose a lot of subscribers to this video. So if you guys could subscribe, it'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. But there are a lot of people a lot of people that are going to unsubscribe because they want this to be an Angel Reese hate channel, but it's a basketball channel. And we saw it from today, what Angel Reese said. And a lot of people are using this to clown on her. I'm not. I actually don't. So obviously we saw what happened last year.
You made a powerful statement saying the reason. Last year you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too.
I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person.
Do you feel like you're
Next question?
She did the right thing. She did the right thing. Nothing positive has been gained from her saying this. Nothing positive. That is the exact way to answer the question. That is what we call. She handled it absolutely perfectly. She handled it perfectly. And yes, statements that you've made in the past will come back to haunt you. Can come back to haunt you. This statement from Angel Reese has come back to haunt her enough that her mother, had to come out on Twitter and start complaining about that. Like, that is a statement that has come back to bite her in the ass. Because, let's be real, from a viewership and watching point of view, Angel is not in the top 4 to 5 biggest draws in this sport. And maybe I'm wrong with that. But the New York Liberty are the second biggest draw. Not any individual player, as a team. The Liberty are the second biggest draw. The, other people are bigger draws. And straight away, next question. And people are going to want to clown Angel Reese. That is the exact thing. The exact thing that she should have said last year. She unprovoked. She was unprovoked to say what she said last year. And not only was it false, it starts the conversation for every single time the views, her viewership numbers are bad, the viewership conversation comes out. Because, unfortunately, because of what the statement that she made a year ago, that's never going to be stopping. And if you look at all of her interview this year, it's very clear she's either someone sat her down as like basically not coaching her through answers, but she's not saying stuff like this again. And by the way, you can be that type of like outspoken player, but you got to cash the checks. You've got to cash the checks. If you're going to write a check, you have to cash them. And she knows, let's not write this check. Let's not, back down. So, you're seeing the Chicago Sky, the only person who can stop Camilla is Camilla. Agreed. The Ariel Atkins and the Sky's culture. the Sky are looking like they're in good shape. They're looking like they're in good shape as far as, what they're trying to do. And if you're looking at answers, like Hailey Van Litz hyping up the vets, they're talking about the culture. It seems to be a good place. Tyler Marsh seems good. But even if you're looking at Angel Reese's answers, focusing on sophomore season, being comfortable, consistent. I'm not listening to outside noise. I'm wanting to get drafted by Chicago. I don't know if she wanted to get drafted by Chicago. She was there anyway. But this is the big thing, is that I think every single person can agree that Angel Reese listened to the outside noise last year. From the double-double talk to the people are watching for Me Too, it's clear. And it's a question that if they ask Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark's answer would just be, it's great to see the growth of basketball. That would be her answer. That would be genuinely her answer. And someone in my comments live just said, if Kennedy was still on the Sky, she would have answered the question and stirred the pot. Yeah, maybe that's why you don't want Kennedy Carter. Maybe that is why you don't want Kennedy Carter on your team. Maybe that's a legitimate reason for not having Kennedy Carter. But I have to say, we had a year where I think a lot of stuff was being said, or a lot of news stuff came from, if we don't remember a year ago, there was a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, and a lot of kind of controversy came from interviewers trying to bait players. And Angel Reese took the bait a lot. She took the bait. And a lot of players took the bait. An awful lot of players took the bait. Like Christine Brennan trying to, or the Dejanay Carrington situation, trying to bait Dejanay Carrington. Like we saw, like these journalists were trying to take the bait. We're trying to bait players, and they tried to bait Angel Reese. And I genuinely think a year ago, as we saw, she wasn't even baited. She just said it herself a year ago. And what she's right to do is not take the bait. Like, someone said Angel Reese was right last year. Caitlin Clark said the same thing. They're not enemies. I don't think they're enemies, but... And I don't... Whether you think Angel Reese was right or not last year, what she said last year opened the door to viewership watching every single game Angel Reese played. It did. It opened that door. It 100% did. And it started that conversation. But stopping the question is as good of an answer as you can do. And I gotta say, coming into this season, the sky feels different. The sky feels different. And look, a lot of people on this channel hoping that, expecting this to be an Angel Reese hate channel or a Sky hate channel. Oh, you better believe there's going to be positive and negative videos about Sky. And same with the Fever, same with every other team. But I got to say, something feels different about this team. Yeah, some of these reporters are masters at baiting. I'm not saying what you just said there. And the rookies weren't ready for it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And Angel's playing out of position this year. Yeah, she's playing more of a stretch four, and I think she's going to struggle a little bit at times, but I think it's going to be to the benefit of the team long term. And the Sky don't have their pick, so they might as well just be winning the games. And yeah, it's a good answer, and I know a lot of people are going to be clowning what Angel Reese said, and I mean, look, I think what she said a year ago was not as, like, whether you think it was true or not, I don't think it was a true statement, but it was not a smart answer. And now at least you've got her stopping. You've got her stopping it right now. Someone in the chat saying, just because sites have them ranked higher than Fever, I hate on the Storm. And the Sky are better than the Storm. The Dream are better than the Storm. The Storm are not good. The Storm are not going to be good at all. But yeah, it is genuinely a good thing to see from the perspective of Angel Reese. That hopefully there's not many things taken out of context this year, because let's be real, there were a few things last year, like the outside noise. The outside noise, like while Cheryl Swoops is going through her entire debacle against Caitlin Clark fans, bringing Cheryl Swoops onto a podcast, having her as a guest. Like, I'm pretty sure it was mid-season. Like, the outside noise was something that 100% affected Angel Reese last year. And if that's something she can get in control, just focus on winning with the team, I think she's going to have a real good year. I think she's going to have a really, really good year, if we're being honest. And someone saying Reese already wrote that check. Just giving a question about it won't help. No, it won't now, but continuing to write crazy checks that you're never going to be able to cash doesn't help. It does not help, and never judge somebody's entire life and as they get older by the actions of them at 22 years old. Because if we were all judged by our actions at 22 years old, like, Jesus, we would not be seen well. We would not be seen well, let's be honest. Seattle Phoenix overrated. I don't know about Phoenix. Phoenix could be good. I really am interested in seeing what Phoenix are going to do, but they could be good. So one thing is one team, the team that I'm the highest on in the WNBA is the Minnesota Lynx. And I do think that there's some weird stuff happening with this team. This team's preseason. There is some weird things. Like, I think they're obviously just going to win. Like, they're just trying to win. That's the only thing they care about. But I'm also like, we're hearing some weird answers from like Fee in interviews, and we saw this from Cheryl Reeve. This was a really weird answer. So talking about practice.
Off day. Yeah. Did today kind of feel like tone shift? Or it feels like the regular season now, and we've had a game that counts on.
Oh, the way they showed up today, yeah, it felt like they were, not interested in really being here and working on anything. So, we don't have a game till Friday, so why are we here? That's kind of what today was. I was still in training camp. They weren't. They were on to something else.
Did that get better throughout the practice?
Absolutely not. No, that's why we're here so early with you guys.
Like she just said she pulled practice early because the team was so bad. That is crazy. And this is a team that on paper should be the best team in the WNBA. Like they were so close to being better, to winning it all last year. And you've got Diamond Miller, who looks healthy again. You've lost one player in Maisha Hines-Allen. And Chechi versus Carly Samuelson is a lateral move. Hines-Allen versus Badian is a lateral move. Jessica Shepard's better than both of them. You basically added a healthy Diamond Miller and Jessica Shepard to a team that was a 6-step cha-cha slide into a clean block away from winning a championship. But it's it's crazy that you're hearing the coach coming out with this right away. And I'm guessing it's to try to get the players hyped. But so obviously saying it here, done nothing but talk to SH1T about her players the past 2 weeks. And that's the thing. Everything Cheryl Reeve has not said a positive word about her team. She's not said a positive word about her team. She said we have to win a chip to win, get serious. Or sorry, we have a chip to win. Like it's mad. And I wonder if it's just, again, if it's one of those things being like her standards are, we have to have a chip on our shoulders. And I do think that the Lynx being ranked as the 9th best team in the WNBA last year was a massive reason why they were so good. Like, I genuinely think that it's a big reason why they were so good last year was because nobody thought that they were going to be good. And I thought they looked good in this game. Like, no Alana Smith, and if we saw last year, this team did not function with Alana Smith not on the team. Dorka Juhas, and like, Jesus, her response to Dorka Juhas not coming over was not great either. It's like, oh, players do what they want to do. That was basically her excuse for Dorka Juhas. Which was, again, a bit of a surprise. Kayla McBride's not there either. So, yeah, I don't know. I reckon Kayla McBride's just chilling. She played Unrivaled and then went overseas. I think she's just chilling until the season starts. Like, her season ended 2 weeks ago. I think she's just not really pushing it in training camp. For no one knows why. Like, I think she's just absolutely exhausted. That would be my assumption for Kayla McBride. But it's like, Natisha Hyde and Paige Bueckers is a great player beside to match up against her. Dallas got a lot of great players. Man. Why couldn't players have said that last year about the fever instead of stop asking me questions about Caitlin Clark? That was literally their responses half the times. But it was going to be an off day, but the Lynx added a practice today. They added a practice. Okay. So they may go for another practice. And my goat Grace Berger out there staying late to take advantage of that. And it is interesting with her making the team. It's probably between her and Lisa Peely to get that last spot in the team. But like her on Dorka Juhas missed season. I mean, you find it just for a season. Obviously, an unfortunate situation, but players make choices. We'll deal with the hand. Like, I don't know how much Dorka was going to play with Jessica Shepard, but clearly, like, it's a it's just, I don't know. I don't know about this team. I think they're going to be good. Grace Berger for MVP. All those extra sessions. All those extra sessions, you know. That's how you win an MVP. That's how you win an MVP. You know, the mid-range game. The mid-range game is how you win an MVP according to the Caitlin Clark haters saying that she doesn't have any. You need to be a mid-range shooter. That's what you need to do to win an MVP. The mid-range game is the only thing you're going to need to be an MVP. But, yeah, the Lynx they're in an interesting situation. Like, I thought they were good in this game. Like, I thought their starters played well. I didn't think they shot well. But I thought when their starters were on the floor, they looked good. I thought Diamond Miller's looked good. I thought Peely. I get rid of Lisa Peely. I don't see the point of a 5'11" center who can't guard anybody. I get if she can shoot the 3-ball. But, like, if she's sub 50% from 3, which is near impossible, then I would say she's a liability almost on the floor. But yeah, Kosu's just going to be on the team as like as a project player. I'm shocked they brought her over. Unless they have some sort of under-table deal and they're going to cook Kosu and they're going to bring her back in a few years. But I would be shocked at that, and I think they want her over. But the Minnesota Lynx obviously are a team that should be competing for the top team in the regular season, and we're going to see how they get on against the Dallas Wings. We're going to see how they get on against the Wings, and obviously maybe Cheryl Reeve. Maybe Cheryl Reeve just does not want to lose to the Dallas Wings. Maybe she does not want to lose to the Dallas Wings straight away, because let's be real, she did not want to lose to Caitlin Clark last year. She didn't want to lose to Caitlin Clark. She threw every different look at Caitlin Clark. I don't see her doing that. I don't see her throwing anything other than just normal man defense at Paige Bueckers. But yeah, obviously things are not going the best for the Minnesota Lynx. And if Kayla McBride shows up in the next 2 days, I'm guessing they're still probably going to start Carly Samuelson. That would be my guess. They're still going to bring Carly Samuelson on as a starter and then probably bring McBride off the bench for a few games. But overall, it's a solid roster. It is a very, very solid roster. And the fact their coach is pissed at them means clearly maybe the chip on their shoulder from last year isn't there. All right, lads. Is there any topics you guys want me to cover? I might cover one more topic on this stream. I might want to cover one more topic. Is there anything else you guys want me to cover? And also, if we could get to 200 likes, that'd be incredible. There's like 650 of you guys in there. There is no Sophie Cunningham update. My power rankings are going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to stream tomorrow, and I'm going to do the power rankings. Lucy Olsen, Rookie of the Year race. I think I'm going to do my preview tomorrow. Because I have time to do it tomorrow, so I'm going to do a full preview tomorrow. Referees, we've already talked about the referees on this channel on a video. They're bad. That's all I'm going to say. Soltau suspension. What? They suspended the Annika Soltau contract. Yeah, obviously. They're not. Did you really think they were going to bring over an undrafted 19-year-old rookie? How tall am I? Like 6'2". Did I talk about the Liberty and the Antelopes? Yeah. The Liberty were playing at 40% speed. Am I going live for the Dallas Lynx game? I will be going live for that game, but then I will be turning it off for the Valkyries game because I'm not staying up till 6 a.m. But the Sun being sold. But do I believe the refs are bad or just a conspiracy? I think the refs just suck. They just suck. They're outside of the aces. They're terrible. Why can't the W switch to 5 fouls max per game? It is 5 fouls per game. Love to see the Sun move to Miami. The Miami Sun would be an interesting one. Cooper Flag. I have an NBA channel. We'll talk about Cooper Flag there. Liberty looks slow and old. The Liberty were chilling. The Liberty were absolutely just chilling. Okay, I'm just going to check Reddit, see is there anything. Is there anything in Reddit? There's... It's a... Will Paige finish more turnovers? Caitlin? Of course not. Jeez, that's a crazy statement to make. Paige might lead the W in assist to turnover ratio. What can the league do about drafted players missing half the season? Pay them more. It's not just drafted overseas players. There's Americans. Oh, I forgot. Jessica Shepard plays for Slovenia. She's probably leaving for a month. Jessica Shepard is most definitely an American. She's playing in Notre Dame / USA. Notre Dame / USA. If you guys don't know, she is a naturalized player. It's nothing to do with overseas players. There's plenty of naturalized players because if you naturalize, you might double your salary overseas. If you get yourself an EU passport, if you naturalize and play for a country, you might double your salary. Pay them more. That's the simplest solution. Pay them more. Players won't play for the national team if you pay them $300,000 a year. What do I know about her? I know nothing. I know nothing. I'm not gonna lie. The Sun value at 80 million. The Sun will sell for a minimum 200 million. Minimum 200, and that's the most conservative estimate. Is 200 million. The expansion fee is $250 million. So I would assume having a ready-made franchise is going to be at least relatively similar price to an expansion fee. That would just be my assumption. $500 would be crazy, but I don't see that. I don't see it going to 500. $200 to $300. $300 is probably a conservative estimate, or it's probably a decent estimate. That is one thing. $300 is probably an okay estimate. Some billionaire will step up. It could be like a consortium, or it could be like 49ers Enterprises who bought Leeds. Like it could just be like a whole bunch of people. You wish Caitlin Clark wouldn't have talked to refs. I wish the refs were better. I wish he did too. I wish he would too, but the refs are bad. The refs are terrible. If the refs didn't suck so badly, I'd be more inclined. DeWanna Bonner will be starting first game 100%. %100%. But yeah, we're probably gonna end the stream there then. Probably gonna end the stream there. We've done all of our recording. Caitlin Clark likes refs getting to her head. Not that I've noticed. Not that I've noticed. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna be live tomorrow doing our WNBA preview. We're gonna be live for a WNBA preview tomorrow, and we will have everything. We'll be going over our mock draft. We'll be going over our award predictions. We'll be going over absolutely everything. So anyway, I will see all of you guys then. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of videos